Hey everyone, 11.1.7 is upon us. It's coming out very, very soon. And with that, Blizzard is implementing the Gameplay Enhancements tab, which is going to come with some combat assistance, some combat helping tools. So we have the single button rotation assistant, which is literally you press one button, you just put it on your hotbar like this, and it's just going to go through your whole rotation. And then you have the assisted highlight feature, which is basically going to be a suggestive tool for what it recommends you press next based on those circumstances. This is very similar to Heckly, if you've ever used that add-on or ever heard or seen that. So in this video, I want to talk about some of these features coming, how good they are, how effective they are, maybe the pros and cons of them, and showcase them, and then I'll talk about some additions that I think Blizzard really needs to add to the game if they want to go in this direction of assisted combat, which I think is a really good direction to go in. It's not going to be for everyone, and not everybody needs to use these tools, but there are definitely some nice positives that we can take away from this. So let me just showcase some of these. So if you look at my action bar here, you can see that there's this like big, massive arrow, this curving arrow. This is the single button assistant. So this is it's going to do every button in my rotation. If I just keep pressing number 1 on my keyboard, I'll do it with my mouse. So if I just keep clicking here, it's gonna just go through my whole rotation. Now you do suffer a small GCD penalty. I believe it's like a 0.2 second addition to your GCD. So you will, even if you play this perfectly, like you just do exactly what it does here, and somebody else not using the add-on presses the exact same rotation, they will do more damage because they don't have this penalty. But what this is going to really allow you to do is, like, you're getting used to a boss on Mythic, and you're, like, trying to learn this boss, and you're a little bit scared, and you're not sure, where you've got to stand, or you're looking at your feet for mechanics and whatnot. This is going to be a very effective tool to allow you to just not have to think about your rotation at all, and know that you're still going to do a decent job. And when I first started playing with this a few weeks ago, it was nowhere near as good. I'm looking at it now, and I'm going, oh my goodness, this thing is going to put me and other content creators out of a job. Because you're not going to need to come look at our rotation guides anymore. You're going to have this. Now, one thing I will note is that these tools will not help you with cooldown usage. So it will not tell you when to use your cooldowns, etc. You have to press your cooldowns on your own. You have to be a big boy or girl. You have to, do it all yourself. Now, is this telling me? Okay, yeah, this is telling me to Moonfire. Yeah, because I'm playing Wildstalker right now. There we go. The add-on, like, switched off for a second. I was like, what the heck? But it's because I've got Moonfire. And that's over here on number 7. Let me move it in. So this is the, like, Heckly rotation. This is the one that you can see. It's, like, hopping around and trying to highlight different things. This has actually been the biggest improvement that I've seen. Before, this was just absolutely, like, just not good. But now it's really good. It wasn't primal wrathing, like, it wasn't dotting things in AoE. This is really good now as well. Like, if you do tab target to targets that don't have rake on them, it will try and get you to use them. It waits till you're at 5 combo points, and then it will tell you to use your finishes, your primal wrath, your ferocious bite and stuff. So it does track your combo points well and everything like that. I said it doesn't track cooldowns, but it does track Convoke, weirdly. So it will tell you to Convoke, but it won't tell you to Berserk. And I don't know if that's maybe to do with something with how Convoke is coded, because it's like across the whole class. Maybe it's not strictly seen as a cooldown, and maybe it's seen as like a class ability or something. I don't know. I'm not a coding expert. But that is interesting that it will use Convoke. Some things that it won't do. Some limitations for this. So it won't account for certain talents and sort of the enhancements, right? So something with Feral, for example, is that your Tiger Fury is a 30-second CD. That will increase the damage of everything else that you do by 15%. It won't tell me to Tiger Fury and then Convoke, which is kind of strange. I guess maybe if it's not tracking... Yeah, no, it is tracking Tiger Fury, so it should tell me to Tiger Fury and then Convoke, but it doesn't. So it's emitting that 15% damage increase. You then also have things like Blood Talons, which is very important in your rotation, that you are doing this 3 different generators and then using a finisher, and it isn't allowing for that. Like, let me just 100% make sure. I mean, there it has. But when I tested it a few weeks ago, it definitely wasn't. Maybe it has now a bit. Okay, it's telling me to bite. It wants me to rake. Okay, it is actually accounting for Blood Talons now. Okay, so I don't think it was before, but that absolutely, to me, looks like it's... Like, let me just bite really quick. Okay, so it wants me to rake, brutal slash, shred. Yeah, it's accounting for Blood Talons now, so that's great. Okay, so it has had improvement. So it will now actually track certain talent setups as well, which is really, really important. I don't think it's going to track your pooling. Like, it is interesting with an energy class. Like, Feral's, I think, a really good class to test this on, because you have different talents and cooldowns, which you want to use in advance of using certain abilities. You also have dots, so you want to tab target to very like different mobs and stuff. You then also have your Blood Talons, you've got combo points, you've got energy. So I wonder if it's going to, like, not recommend me use a Thrash if I'm below 40 energy, but as soon as I go above 40 energy, see if that changes. So let me actually test that really quick. So if I go below 40 energy, right? So let's see. Yeah, okay. So as soon as I have above 40 energy there, it switched from a Rake to a Thrash, and I hadn't actually pressed anything. So it will adjust based on your energy at the time. And I guess that's how you would take a tool like this, is you take it literally in the moment. You don't use it to plan ahead. You don't use it to think about what's happened before. It lives solely in the present. That's where you, the player, are probably going to have to come in and manage your energy and combo points and stuff like that, or whatever class you play, whatever spec you play. This is universal, but I'm obviously just focusing on Feral at the moment. I have done some balance druid testing as well. It was actually really good at balance, because balance has 2 buttons, so it was dotting everything, and as if you tabbed, it would dot things with Moonfire. But then once everything was dotted, it was Starfire, Starfall, Starfire, Starfall, and that was the full rotation. So you're like, yep, it does balance. So that's that done. Yeah, I think this is really good for letting you focus on combat. I could definitely see people using this in Mythic Raid. Absolutely, people are going to use this in Mythic Plus. I am going to test this in some keys, and I'm even going to test it when the new raid tier releases and we're on Mythic. I am actually going to test this tool. So I will let you guys know how it goes, and I'll put a video up and stuff. It vastly improved from when I first started playing with it. I'm really impressed with how it's coming along. It's actually doing really, really well. Another small thing to talk about is you guys may have noticed this, like, this cooldown window right here at the middle of my screen. You can see here. This is really awesome. They've added this. It's kind of like the weak aura packs that you can get, but now you can customize it just from the Blizzard window, which is really, really great. Okay, is it going to let me do it? Okay, maybe it's not going to let me do it right now on PTR. But absolutely... Oh, wait, no, hold on. Cooldown manager. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you've got things that it'll track. So if I use my Berserk... Okay, I can't use it right now, but it'll track your, like, cooldowns and how long's left, which is really cool. It will track your procs. It will track your cooldowns for DPS, and then it will track your utility. This is really nice. It's inbuilt, baked into the Blizzard UI. The thing you're going to get with a Blizzard feature is just user-friendliness. Sometimes I find with weak auras and stuff, it's a little bit tricky in figuring out where you need to go to set everything up. Blizzard is going to be super simple. So I love that they're adding this in to be an in-house feature. Honestly, I'm really impressed. Let me show you this. I can press my Berserk right now. It's going to track that. I mean, yeah, obviously my Convoke channel. It's tracking my procs of things. It's tracking durations. I mean, it's really nice. It's crisp. It's got the Blizzard look to it as well, so it just naturally fits really nice to your default UI. Really, really beautiful stuff. Now, that's not all I want to talk about. I want to talk to you guys about this. This is absolutely what I think Blizzard needs to do. if they want to go down this route of combat assistance and helping people get to grips with their rotations and stuff like that, because WoW's pretty complex when you look at how many talents there are. You got the hero talent changes, you then have things like tier sets, and you have changes before and after you get your tier set, different trinket setups as well with things, borrowed power, etc. There's a lot to sort of get to grips with. There's a lot of different, this is something you have to think about as well as a WoW player, right? Because I play multiple MMOs, and this is not always a case in other MMOs, and people come into WoW, and you have to get used to very many different fight styles. There's pure single target. There's single target with burst cleave. There's 4-target council fights where the whole fight is you're constantly on 4 mobs. How this affects your rotation, your loadout with your talents and your build, there's infinite possibilities, and it's really hard to ascertain this information as a new player without needing to go to external websites and have to leave the game, go elsewhere, and find this very basic stuff at times. So, something that I was talking about and thinking about, and thankfully, Word Up had the exact same idea and brought this to the table. I mean, it's beautiful. So Word Up has said, with the rotation assist coming this week, I still feel strongly that the tool needs to come with a companion cheat sheet on what both the tool is doing and what you're supposed to do. A proof of concept of it going into the spellbook would look like this. Look at this picture. It's beautiful. And I fully agree. You need something in-game that sort of prompts you and says, hey, you are playing this spec. This is your aim of the game. This is what you are trying to achieve to the best of your ability, right? Shaman here. Enhance. Super proc heavy. It should tell you, hey, you want to do 9 different things all at the exact same global, and you can't. So you have to learn to prioritize different procs based on what flashes, right? That is Enhance. So it should tell you about that. It should say, look, these are some really strong abilities here that you really want to get on cooldown, but what happens when they're all flashing? How do you prioritize these things? It should talk to you about your resources and stuff, right? It should, like, if you're a feral druid, there is nowhere in the game that tells you about snapshotting. The core feature to feral that doesn't really exist in any other spec anymore. And don't remove it, Blizzard, I swear to God, don't remove it. But there should absolutely be a thing on snapshotting saying what it is, how it works, what it's affected by, so that you as a new player can go, right, I need to Tiger Fury and Blood Talons before I apply my bleed. Oh, that makes so much sense because it's explicitly stated here by Blizzard, the designers of the game. Talking about cooldown usage, maybe it could give eventually a more advanced thing is giving suggestions on like your rotation on single target versus like AoE or something, I don't know. But just like a breakdown of how some of your abilities synchronize together, how your spec works to a degree would be fantastic. Word Up has made this beautiful example piece here. It could slot into this tab here. I mean, this is beautiful. So, power to Word Up. I'll link this post down below. You guys can go check it out and everything like that. But this is exactly what I think Blizzard needs to put in. And if Blizzard doesn't, then I think content creators, streamers, flipping class designer, theory crafters and stuff should make these. I will do my best to maybe try and make one for feral, and maybe I could try and implement it somehow with somebody's help. But something like this would be phenomenal. And yeah, that's everything I have to say on the feature, you guys. That's everything I wanted to talk to you about. But hopefully this has been a helpful video on seeing how this rotation helper goes. Look forward to 11.17 releasing this week. And get ready to have your combat assisted, baby. Let's go. Heck yeah. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.